Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to talk to you and announce my 2025 bingo board from hell reading challenges. So this bingo board is a challenge that started with Lianne from Literary Diversions, who is one of my dearest and oldest friends here on BookTube, and she created this bingo board a couple of years ago, and then in 2024 we've all had a great time with this bingo board where I just create silly little challenges for myself in the bingo board format. I do like a bingo board and some challenges because I'm a numbers person and I internally like to hit numbers for myself. I find this highly motivating. I am not convinced I'm going to do rewards the same way that I did rewards last year. In fact, I stopped giving myself my rewards in the second half of the year because it just didn't matter to me. I am very much more about just reaching these arbitrary targets that I set for myself. And what you're going to notice is that this year, when I bring up my bingo board, is that not a lot has changed because I think the numbers that I ended up working with and some of the challenges worked really well for me and fit in with what I'm trying to do with my reading, which is trying to read what I want, but also trying to diversify just a little bit in terms of genre and category and readership and that sort of thing. So a lot of things are going to be similar or the same. There's also a few new things thrown in for the year that are going to relate to some content. So you will have seen my channel plans video that came out earlier this week. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about how some of my content is going to align with the goals that I've set for myself. Without further ado, we are going to talk about all of the goals that I've set for myself. I'm not going to lie, the first one is absolutely terrifying. But I have done this in the past. I have managed to achieve it. I'm going to achieve it again. So the first goal I've set myself is to read 100% of my pre-2025 physical TBR. That means every physical book that I own that is unread, I would like to read it by the end of this year. Now, before anyone freaks out, I don't have the exact number yet because it's not the end of the year. I will do a video where I basically onboard this challenge next year, and it'll be part of a series of TBR takedown videos. So Lianne has her own video series, the 60% Diaries, where she's reading what she brings in a given year, which I really loved that concept. I'm going to be taking that concept and adapting it to this particular challenge of reading my pre-2025 owned physical TBR because I want to get that down to absolutely nothing by the end of the year. That means reading or DNFing everything, just because I don't like things sitting there. I have absolutely no issue with other people having things unread and sitting there. For me personally, if I'm going to purchase a book, I want to make sure that I'm purchasing it to read it or that I'm purchasing it after reading it. And that's just something that I want to move to for myself. Many, many years ago, if you've been on my channel for a long time, you will know that I had a book haul revisited series where I literally went back a year later and rewatched the videos where I had hauled the books and I made sure I was reading through them. Lots of people do those now. I did them years and years ago. So it's kind of like that, except I don't really have book haul videos to draw on because I haven't really done those consistently for a long time. For anyone who is freaking out, at this stage, I have roughly 80-ish unread physical books from this year and years prior. To me, that's a good number because that's about a seventh of what I read, less than a seventh of what I read in 2024. So it's not an unachievable target for me. I just need to prioritize reading the books for it to work. I'm also going to keep my goal of 75 audiobooks because I'm planning on utilizing my Libby subscription more. I'm planning on, I mean, I'll always do a reread of the Kate Daniels graphic audios now. So that's a stack of books on audio. But I want to prioritize making use of my library system, and for me that is mostly audiobooks. And hey, I went over 75 this year, so I think 75 is a good target, and then we can look at it mid-year and see if I need to increase that in any significant way. The next one is less of a book reading challenge and more of a content challenge, and that is to film 12 try a chapter videos. And I've got a bunch of ideas for the themes of them, but I'm very welcome and open to other suggestions for themes for try a chapter videos. I think the format works really well for people. I think it's a great way for me to get through a lot of books and quickly make decisions about whether I really do want to keep them and read them or whether I want to just get rid of them and not have them hanging over my head. I think that is a really effective way for me to sort of just keep things at the forefront of my mind. I want to keep those, and I did quite a few of them this year. I don't think I did 12, but I would like to try and do at least one per month. If I can do more, that's even better. I am also going to finish or continue 12 series. I have a list. I have a video coming out where I'll tell you the 12 series that are starting out on my list. Of course, if I meet those targets, or it looks like I will meet those targets early in the year, I will extend it back out to 18, but I'm starting out with 12 series that I would like to catch up on or finish, and some of them are quite long series, so I'm not quite sure if I will need to extend it. I'm also keeping the challenge to read 80% of my monthly TBRs. I found this has been really good for me to keep a reasonable and manageable actual TBR with books that I need to or have to read, and then still leaving me heaps and heaps of space for mood reading. And the 80% just means I've got that little safety net to say, yes, you committed to reading these books. Try and read as many of them as you can. It's been really motivating. I'm also keeping the challenge to read 50 middle grade titles, although I've expanded it out to 50 junior fiction or middle grade titles because I read a lot of junior fiction because that's the age range that I teach. So I have to read some of that slightly younger chapter book kind of content, but they're still novels, they're still books, and I want to include them in this particular challenge. Then we come to my 2025 physical TBR. I would like to read 75% of what I bring in. This year I managed to achieve 80% in 2024. I would like to at least try and hit 75%. If I need to increase that, I will. As I said earlier, I just want to make sure that I'm actually not letting books sit on the shelf, not because I have an issue with anyone doing that, but just because me personally, because of the space I have in my apartment, I need to make sure that what's coming in is something that I want to read and keep, and that it has a space in my collection as opposed to just buying books for the sake of it. Because let's face it, if I want to buy a book for the sake of it, I can just put it on my Kindle and that's fine. It doesn't take up any more room anywhere. I also want to keep my goal of 20 nonfiction books for the year. I think that was a really good goal. I think it actually started out lower earlier in the year, but 20 books is to me a good number to hit. One, I want to read more audio nonfiction. Two, I think it just means that I am reading books outside of my comfort zone because I'm not a nonfiction girly at all. It's not something that I gravitate towards. I have to actively try and include that into my daily reading. So I would like to keep trying to have that in my daily reading because in the grand scheme of things, 20 nonfiction books is a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of what I read in a year. And eventually I would like to increase that, but baby steps. We're sticking with baby steps. And then the last goal is something completely different. This year I'm going to participate in the 52 Book Club Challenge, which is a challenge that's been around online for ages. And I have seen it over the last couple of years and thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool to try that. The challenges are really interesting and can be adapted for different genres, but you know, it's still a little bit of a challenge. And I just kind of haven't done it. In the last couple of weeks, I just went, you know what, let's just try it this year. And because I'm committing, I've even got the 2025 Book Club reading journal for the challenges, which has a whole lot of places for you to document what it is that you're reading. I've already gone through with all of the prompts and I've got down some possibilities that I've recorded in the book. I've been able to adapt a lot of it to what I would like to read in 2025, which is super exciting. None of it is a commitment to read it. It's just things that I think will fit the prompts. I think it's just a different way of thinking about my reading and about looking at different prompts and adapting things and sort of stepping outside my comfort zone and reading a little bit more broadly than maybe I would normally do through a different challenge. And I will probably do some videos where I, do check-ins with the books that I'm reading for the challenge and what I'm ticking off and things like that. I'm really happy if people are interested to do some content around this book. So I'm only going to be filling in information and reviews and things for the books that I actually read for this challenge in this book, not everything else. There is space to include the rest of my reading, but I don't think there's going to be enough space. For 1 year, this is a fun little project at the end of it. I'm going to see how I go. I haven't exactly planned any onboarding videos or what are my potential reads or anything for this challenge, but if that's something that people are interested in, let me know down below because I'm more than happy to do another video about that. But yeah, I thought it would be a fun challenge, and that means that for this square it's going to be keeping track of the 52 main book prompts for this challenge. There are little mini challenges for different months as well, but I'm not going to include those in the bingo board. I will try and do them for the sake of the challenge, but we are going to aim to complete all 52 challenges from here. And I'm excited by that. So I think it will be an interesting challenge for me. But yes, that is my bingo board for 2025. I'm really excited by it. I love that Lianne has continued to put out these bingo boards. I will leave a link to her video on the screen and also in the description if you would like to check it out, because I always love seeing her challenges and I'm really excited to join in with mine. In the comments, I would love to know, are you participating in the bingo board from hell this year? And if so, what is a challenge on your list that you are really excited to tackle? Stay tuned later in this month. I will have the books that are going to be part of the series to read in 2025, as well as a lot of other end of year bookish content. If you want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a book stack emoji. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.